Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a multi-character listener by me. So let's get into it. Midoriya Izuku. Midoriya was always caring, but especially so when it came to you. Lately, you seem like you're unwell, sleeping less, and being more worried about things. He didn't like the look on you, if you were to be honest. He loved you. He didn't like to see you so stressed and so sad. And that's why he insisted that you let him sleep in your room tonight, just trying to make sure you're sleeping well. And to be able to make you feel a little bit better, perhaps sleep a little bit earlier. You had agreed, but never did Midoriya expect for you to wake up late at night screaming from a nightmare. He had fallen asleep by your side, and had only woken up as he heard a scream. Immediately he turned on the lights, trying to see if there was something frightening you. But it was only the nightmare. He sat down next to you, holding you in his arms gently. "It's okay, Mayan. It's only me here. You're safe." You were trying to talk, but you were sobbing as you held on to him, burying your face into his neck. And he didn't pressure you to say anything. You didn't have to say a word. All Midoriya knew was that you needed him right now to be there with you, to be by your side and to hold you. And that was exactly what he was going to do, no questions asked. You didn't need to tell him a thing. He didn't need to be told. And that's why you loved him. Why you treasured your relationship. Though it had its ups and downs, and uncertainties, but you knew that whenever you needed him, whenever you were afraid or scared, he'd be there for you, guiding you all the way back to safety again, into the warmth of his arms, just like today, and probably many more days to come in the future. Todoroki Shoto. Todoroki was having a sleepover with you. It was fun, and yet slept quite early, but it was not a really good sleep for you. Lately, you've been bugged about many things: villains, exams, and stress has been weighing you down. So, of course, you will not have the most cozy sleep, because it would be filled with nightmares. Todoroki had his own share of them, of course, but he never knew just how bad yours could be. He never knew that it could be this impactful for you. Because when you woke up, you didn't wake up normally. You had him wake up at 4 in the morning with a loud scream that you had quickly covered with your hand, but you were trembling, pale. Todoroki had immediately lit a fire with his hand, seeing if there was anyone around, before quickly wrapping his arms around you once he dissipated it. He held you close, a hand in your hair as he stroked it gently, whispering soft words into your ears. "You're safe, Mayan. I've got you. Everything will be okay. Trust me," he would say over and over, watching as your fast breathing slowly calmed down and you were getting calmer and quieter in his arms. He held you then and stayed that way until you had calmed down completely, and you had decided then to tell him what you were dreaming about: a villain chasing you and him, a villain that had killed him in front of your eyes. He had then kissed you, cupping your face in his hands. "But I'm alright now. Can't you see that? I'm safe, and I'm okay. So don't worry about me. Everything will be fine," he said, and looking into his eyes, and the feeling of safety that you just get from being with him You know it will be fine. He's strong, and so are you, and he won't let anyone take him away from you, or hurt you or scare you in this way. And neither will he. Bakugou Katsuki. Katsuki cares about his sleep a lot. You didn't want to sleep with him because you told him he wouldn't want it. You moved a lot in your sleep. You had a lot of nightmares sometimes, and he cared about his sleep. He wanted to sleep early, and you'd be annoying him, but he insisted that you come into his room and sleep the night away with him. So, of course, once he insists, you can't say anything about that and decide to do as he wants. You've given him a good enough amount of warnings, and he didn't heed any of them. So it wouldn't be your fault if you couldn't sleep that night. You had warned him enough, and you took on the risk anyway. And that's why, when you wake up screaming, he's not angry. In fact, he's only surprised and worried. He takes you into his arms immediately, reassuring you that it's him, that he's here with you. He tells you to take deep breaths and tries to ground you into reality, telling you that you're safe. There's no one else around, no villains, no one's going to hurt you. It takes a couple minutes and a couple of attempts for him for you to fully calm down and go into his arms. And then he holds you tightly. You'll be okay, Wayan. I promise you, he says. He knows how scared you are. He's been there. Though he didn't want anyone's help back then, he couldn't handle the pity and the amount of vulnerability that would have to show to tell people that he'd been having so many nightmares, that he's been having difficulty sleeping. But seeing you with those same problems that he suffered through after being kidnapped by the League of Villains, he didn't want to see you like this. And most importantly, he didn't want you to be alone through it. He wanted to be there for you and to help you, to give you the help that he wished you would have been brave enough to ask for. And that's why he insists to be there. He won't ask you questions, not unless he feels like you could answer them. But for the most part, he'll be there for you and hold you, and make sure that you feel safe, because that's the most important thing that you can do.